I'm so out of practice. I'm out of practice with getting up. Ugh. I gotta start doing that more often. I go to get up and I'm like going to use my hands to get up, push myself off the ground. I'm like, you should just be able to stand up, dude. Work harder. I was doing backward lunges too. Backward lunges. It strengthens your lower bits, and by stepping backwards, it's actually easier on your knee for some reason, which I kind of believe. Hey, you know what? I was thinking about books. I just went and buy a free book bin. It's like one of those like glass cabinets on a pole that you open up and there's books in there. And I thought, what a miracle find that would be for me as a child. It was so hard to get books. And you'd have to know either like before the internet, so card catalog stuff. You'd have to know the author, the title, and sometimes the publisher. Because sometimes if you heard of a book that the library hadn't heard of, you're just screwed. The libraries used to be full of nothing but people that had college educations for library sciences or whatever it's called. And so then they'd go, well, what kind of type of book is it? What type of publishers publish that? And then you'd find a publisher's list, sometimes in the actual books themselves, of all the books they publish. And sometimes there'd even be order forms. So you'd put cash in these envelopes, like disregarding the fact of when this book came out, like has the book price changed? It's like if you found, is that a bone? No. If you just found an order form in the back of a book and it says they sell the book for $12, and that was 10 years ago or 5 years ago, and now they sell it for $18, you send them $12 cash in the mail, they send you that book. Yeah, they used to mail them to you. It'd take months. And you never knew if you're going to get that book or not. Like, man, it takes so long sometimes. I bet you anything I sent money. Well, probably not. I think I'd notice. It was so hard to track down some books. And now, it's super easy to get books. Any book I could think of, I could find on the internet, in the Gutenberg Library. I could order off Amazon and have it in my hand like a day or 2 days later. So, what if, I was thinking, like, people are like, social media, political divide, like what is messing up society? I'm sure it's a lot of stuff. But what if it's information, access to information? You think that would be great. What if it's not great? Like, what if having access to all this information is bad? Because it's not bad for me, right? Because like I understand and value information. I understand the difficulty in tracking down the right things. That was the other thing, the right things. Like back in the day, you'd have to buy multiple of the same book, let's say, a dictionary or encyclopedias especially. And they'd be different, man. I remember introducing that concept to my school librarian as well as my parents and grandparents. And I'm like, books, it's the same book, is different. It's because it matters on who published it, who paid for it, that kind of thing. Oh, so I understand how information is valuable, and you have to make decisions and like differentiate between what you want to invest your time and money in and what you don't, or you just don't have the time, you don't have the money. But now, like, you just click on something and type in anything, and especially now, like, it's the same thing with the internet as it was with books. Like, I would get an encyclopedia, and then I'd get a different encyclopedia, and there'd be different information. One encyclopedia would show, like, protesters at Kent State with the police sicking dogs on them, and talk about, like, the unpopular Vietnam War. And then another encyclopedia would be like, the police often use canines to help patrol and keep neighborhoods safe. Same photo, of protesters being attacked by They were the National Guard, right? Yeah. Fired a ton of bullets. Hit everybody but protesters for the most part. Yeah. And that depends on who's funding the book. Whoever's funding the book might not want to see that. You know, they might not like that aspect of our history, and it's like kind of like whitewashing it or whatever. So if you don't understand the value, and you don't want to understand, like, your time is limited, so you should pick and choose carefully. But if you haven't learned that, it's just a flood of information, and then also you won't differentiate between what's true and what's not true. You're just looking or listening to information, and it's just bypassing any kind of critical thinking and going straight into your brain. And information is being used to affect people's worldview, their societal view, their neighbors. I mean, that's a little bit off from talking about books, but in my mind, like, books was how the only way really you could access information back in the day, other than having someone talk to you and teach you something. Somebody would have learned something and they would give it to you verbally, or you'd have to find where it was written down. And now it's put out there in all sorts of flavors. And I guess it's almost like someone that hasn't been exposed to a kind of a drug or something like that. And so you start taking this drug, this information drug, but then you're not being careful of who the dealers are. And then you get that one book that says, police often use canines to help them keep neighborhoods safe. But then you get the other book, and it's like, these are American students being shot by Americans for having a peaceful protest at a college. You know, like, and also all the shooting hit innocent bystanders in the distance, people just walking to class. Yeah, it killed people walking to class. Just heading to class one day, boom, into life. Snuffed out. I mean, obviously that affects my worldview. So, like, say I wanted you to have my worldview. It would be so easy at it. Like, within a short period of time, I could collect a huge amount of information, true information, of situations almost exactly like that. So I could then read everything that I put out there, which is the truth. Would change your feelings, though. Like, there's good and bad in everything, and you could pick and choose amongst these things, and I guess make just some sort of brain cocktail that's poisonous. So that's it. It's people are now capable of getting a brain cocktail that's poisonous on purpose from other people who understand how to use information and control information, which is fine, except for people are growing up with it as just naturally, and as you're younger, you don't have that critical sense of I need to have some doubt when I'm listening to everything. Like, I mean, yeah, you need to have doubt when you're listening to a doctor. You need to have doubt when you're listening to a judge. Like you have to think, is this accurate? Or, you know, like, it's the whole idea, you need to give me that. I'm like, do I need to give you that? You know, like, you can't just take things in any information at face value. Even people you love and trust, man, can be wrong about something. So, and if you love and trust them, you want to listen to what they say, think about it critically, and then try to find information that helps clear up any kind of confusion. It was a good walk in the park. Yeah, I just had this thought, like, I kind of like things simple, you know, like there's only two kinds of people in this world. You know, I like that kind of thing. I love bumper sticker thinking. And so if I see like a change in society, and I know it's complicated, I know it's a wide spectrum of things, but I kind of also don't think so, man. Like, you know, if there's a bunch of penguins dying in Antarctica, if there's a change in the penguins' behavior in Antarctica, I'm going to go with this one or two things. Like, it might be one thing that causes another, but I don't think it's 16 things. I don't think there's 16 things wrong with society right now. I mean, there's probably like 30,000 things that are wrong with society right now. I kind of think it's 2 or 3. You know, and then that flood of that toxic cocktail of information that's possible. You can do it to yourself, man. But the thing is, like, you accidentally do it to yourself. That's like, you start looking up one thing or another, and then that leads you down the rabbit hole. And if you go down enough icky rabbit holes, and you're going to be able to verify a lot of the things as you go down these icky rabbit holes. And then you're like, oh man, all this is true. And it is all true. Life's a big mix-up of all sorts of stuff. Now that's true. It's not just a couple of things. It's definitely a big mix-up of a billion things. Billions of things. Oh boy. I was going to go drive to a park, and I just did not want to drive. I didn't want to be in traffic. But then I want to go to the store, and I don't want to walk along traffic. Oh my God. Yeah, critical thinking. That must be then the most important thing then to teach a child. Like, you can't, because typically you'd help your child, you know, back in the day, help them find information that they were looking for. But now information is everywhere. You don't need to help them find it. So you need to teach children a way to critically assess. You know, you have to doubt. These kids have to learn how to doubt adults. You know, like, they have to learn something that's true. Like, the National Guard did this, you know, killed protesters. But then you're gonna have to find, like, well, what was going on? What would lead to that kettle boiling over? That's almost like a symptom of a larger thing gone wrong. So something negative could actually lead to an excellent history lesson that might not be all poisonous and society view crushing.